If your heart isn't strong, if you startle easily when the floor creaks at night or feel your breath catch at the slightest noise in the dark, turn back now. What you are about to read isn't for the faint of spirit. It's for those who can stare into the abyss without blinking. For everyone else, this is your last chance to look away. It began with a padded envelope left leaning against my apartment door with no postmark, no note, just my name typed on the front. Inside was a stack of papers and a single thumb drive. The first page was a case file for something called Project Echo. The last page was a photograph of 4 smiling college students dated October 12th with "They knew too much" scrawled across it in red ink. The thumb drive contained the digital diaries of Maya, Ben, Chloe, and Jake, urban explorers who decided to break into the long-abandoned Blackwood Research Facility. The place was a local legend, a crumbling complex shut down by the state in the 1970s after Dr. Alistair Blackwood's experiments in sensory deprivation and auditory manipulation were deemed unethical. The official report cited patient fatalities, but the rumors spoke of something else. They said the subjects didn't die. They just went quiet, and then they started whispering things they couldn't possibly know. The group's footage started like any other exploration vlog, jokes in the car, mocking the local ghost stories, the thrill of trespassing. But the mood shifts the moment they pry open a rusted service entrance. The air that washes over them is frigid and smells of ozone and old dust. Jake's EMF reader spikes instantly. Ben laughs it off as a faulty wire. They move into a long hallway, their flashlight beams cutting shaky paths through the darkness. Doors stand ajar, revealing empty rooms with rusted bed frames bolted to the floor. It's Chloe, the history buff, who finds Dr. Blackwood's notes in a decaying filing cabinet. She reads aloud, her voice echoing nervously. Subject 734 began reporting a shadow voice that mirrored the tone and cadence of her deceased husband. The voice is not auditory hallucination, but appears to be an external, intelligent phenomenon that learns and adapts. A beat of silence follows, and then a whisper. It's clear as if someone is standing right behind Jake, who's holding the microphone. It's the voice of a little girl. "Mommy, are you there?" Everyone freezes. The thermal camera shows the temperature plummeting around them. Ben, the skeptic, tries to rationalize it. It's interference, a radio signal. But then the voice comes again, this time in the gruff, familiar tone of Ben's own father who had passed years ago. "Benjamin, you never had the nerve to finish what you started." The color drains from Ben's face. How does it know that? The thing in the darkness knew them. It was pulling their deepest shames and fears from the recesses of their minds and playing them back in the voices of their loved ones. Panic erupts. They argue about leaving, but it's too late. The heavy metal door they entered through slams shut with a finality that echoes through the entire building. The power in their equipment dies, plunging them into a blackness so complete it feels suffocating. The only light is from the camera's night vision, casting the world in a sickly green hue. That's when the real game begins. The whispers come from everywhere at once, from the rusted vents, from the empty rooms, from their own walkie-talkies. It uses Maya's mother's voice to accuse her of selfishness. It uses Chloe's professor's voice to mock her academic failures. It preys on them, isolating them with their own guilt. In a desperate bid for escape, they follow a sound, a faint crying, deeper into the facility, into the West Wing, where the most extreme experiments were conducted. They find Ben standing alone in Dr. Blackwood's old office, facing a wall. He turns slowly. His eyes are vacant, his face arranged into a placid, unnatural smile. "He showed me," Ben says, his voice a flat, emotionless monotone. "He showed me. There are no secrets here, only truths." He points at each of them, reciting their most hidden shames. The money Chloe stole, the affair Jake had, the tragic accident Maya has blamed herself for every day since she was 17. The thing wearing Ben's face had rifled through their souls like pages in a book. Then Ben's head cocks to the side.
A child's voice, sweet and cold, comes from his mouth. He wants to play a game. Hide and seek. All the doors in the hallway slam shut in unison. The last thing the camera captures is Maya's scream, choked and raw with terror, before the feed cuts to silent, endless static. I sit in my silent apartment, the papers scattered around me. The case file details Project Echo, an attempt to weaponize sound to break a mind using its own memories as ammunition. Dr. Blackwood's final journal entry reads, "The phenomenon is not a ghost, it is a psychic echo, a recording of trauma that has learned to hunt. It feeds on fear and thrives in silence. It is loose in the facility. God help us." The video file ends, but the envelope held one more thing, a small, voice-activated recorder. I press play. There's a rustle, then Maya's voice, hushed and trembling, barely a breath. "If you find this, it's not over. It doesn't stay in one place. It learns, it adapts, it hitchhikes. It likes quiet, dark places. It likes to be listened to." A long pause. I can hear her shaky breath. "Can you hear it?" Another pause, and then from the recorder, clear as day, comes the whisper of a little girl. "He can." The recording ends, and now I sit here in the quiet of my own home, writing this down. I need to get this out. I need people to know, because ever since I listened to that tape, the lights in my hallway have been flickering, and just a moment ago, as I typed these words, I heard it. A faint, familiar whisper from the kitchen. It sounded like my grandmother. And my grandmother has been dead for 10 years. This is where most stories end, but this one doesn't. It's just passed on to you. If you made it this far, you're one of the few. Prove it. Share this. Subscribe for more if you dare. And whatever you do, pay attention to the whispers in your own home tonight.